everybody, welcome to this short practice which I'm filming at the absolutely beautiful Trigonos in the Untitled Valley where we've come on retreat. So I've just got a little bit of time and I feel like doing some yoga for myself, my own practice. So it's just going to be a short practice, but I thought I'd film it and then you could do it with me. So I'm literally just going to go as I feel, so I don't know where we're going to end up or what we're going to end up doing. It's just going to be a nice flow, a bit of a stretch out. It's difficult to figure out the lighting in here, so apologies if it's not the best. And there is a little bit of a shop next door, so you might hear voices every now and again there. But otherwise, let's get started. And let's start in downward facing dog. So coming onto your mat, taking your feet hips width apart, and then just padding out your feet. Couple of breaths with one leg straight and the other knee bent, and then swapping it over. And then maybe coming to a place where you can work towards straightening both legs. If you can't, just keeping some softness in the knees. Taking some time to connect through to your breath. And then use your next inhale to ripple the spine through to plank. And then keeping the toes tucked underneath, we're going to drop the hips down towards the mat and just lift up for an upwards facing dog. From your centre, move the hips up and back, down, down. And then we'll do a couple more. Inhale through to plank. Drop the hips, lift up through the heart. Hips up and back. One more time. Inhale to bring it forwards. Drop the hips. Lift up. Hips up and back. Downwards facing. And then start to walk your hands in towards your feet. Take a few breaths here. You can hook onto your opposite elbows. You can bend the knees if you need to. A bit of a sway backwards and forwards. Maybe just a little bit of a shake of the head. Just connecting through, using your exhales to release, to lengthen down. And then release your arms. Just walk the hands back out in front of you and come through to plank. And then from there, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Draw down through the hips. Press up through the left thigh and take the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then take the right arm out behind you. So reaching back, strong through the legs. And then we'll bring the right hand down and step back through to plank. Use your next inhale. Left foot to the outside of the left hand. Inhale to take the left arm up and then reach it back. Press up through the right thigh. Bring the left hand down. Let's step back through to plank pose. And then dropping the knees down first if you wish. We're going to roll forwards, bend the elbows and lower all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale through cobra. Keeping the shoulders soft, reach up through the crown of the head. Exhale to bring it down. Go again. Inhale to come up. If you can hear anything, there's singing bowls and tincture bells in the shop next door. That's what you can hear. Exhale to come back down. Tuck the toes, press up to plank, and then find your way into a downwards facing dog. Okay, we're going to bend the left knee. Take a hold of the left shin with the right hand, and if it feels appropriate, you can straighten the left leg. Just finding a little bit of a twist in the spine. Take your right hand back down onto the mat Bend the right knee, hold on to the right shin with the left hand, and again straighten if that's an option. Bring the left hand back down onto the mat, back into your downwards facing dog. On our next inhale, we'll float the right leg up towards the ceiling, bend the right knee, stack your right hip on top of your left. Engage through your core, and then use your next inhale to square off the hips, come through to high plank, press the ground away from you, so almost a doming of the back. Suck the right knee in towards the chest, a little bit of core. And then we'll step the right foot through between the hands, ground the left foot. Inhale your arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. So you can bring the hands to Kali Mudra if you wish, or you can just have the hands shoulder width apart. Just settle into the breath. And then we'll clasp the hands, take them behind the back. Walk your right foot out to the right a little. Lift up through the chest on the inhale, and as you exhale, fold forwards to the inside of your right leg. Straightening through the shoulders, keeping the bend in the right knee, crown of the head reaching down. Use your next inhale to come back up, Virabhadrasana 1. Walk your right foot back just more towards the midline of the mat, and open up Virabhadrasana 2. Softening through your shoulders. Just make sure you're not gripping with the toes. And then use your next inhale to straighten the right leg, lengthen there, a little bit of softness in the knees, you tip down for Trikonasana. So if you can hook onto your big toe with your first 2 fingers, then do. If not, just take your hand against your leg. Try not to come forwards into a forward bend here. You want to keep this as a side bend. You could even draw the left arm forwards over your ear. Reach out towards the front of your mat. Lengthen your right hip towards the back edge of your mat. And then we'll release the left hand down to the floor, pivot onto the ball of the left foot, lengthen the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, fold forwards over your right leg. So bend the right knee if it's tight in the hamstring, and lengthen the right hip back behind you. And then inhale, find your halfway lift, bend your right knee, step it back through to plank. So we're going to move through Chaturanga, up dog, and downwards facing. Inhale, left leg lifts, bend your left knee, stack your left hip on top of your right. We'll square off the hips, draw the left knee in towards the chest, so you're coming through to high plank, pressing the ground away from you. And then step your left foot through between your hands, ground your right foot, inhale the arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. So even though the arms are up, the shoulders are up, we're going to keep the shoulders soft. There's no tension. Keep grounded through the back foot. And then we'll clasp the hands behind the back, awkward way, so opposite thumb and finger on top. Left foot walks out to the left just a little. Lift up through the heart on the inhale, and as you exhale, fold forwards to the inside of your left leg. Try not to swing the hips out to the left. Finding space in your shoulders. your next inhale, come back through to upright. Walk your left foot back towards the midline of your mat and open up to your right, Virabhadrasana 2. So finding a balance between the effort it needs to maintain what you're doing and then finding a sense of ease within that. One more breath. And then we'll straighten the left leg, lengthen there on the inhale, a little bit of softness in the knee as you tip down to your left hand side. And again, finding a side bend here. So don't fold forwards, keep the head stacked pretty much over your foot. And if you're only taking your hand to your shin, that's absolutely fine. And then draw your right arm forwards over your ear. And then we'll bring the right hand down, pivot on the right foot. You're pivoting onto the ball of the foot. Lengthen the spine as you inhale and fold forwards over the left leg. And again, bend the left knee if you need to. Lengthen the left hip back behind you. Perfect. Bend the left knee again. Let's step it back. Plank pose. If you want to go straight to down dog, do. If you're happy to work through a vinyasa, we'll work through a vinyasa. Couple of breaths. And then use your next inhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. And we'll just bring both hands to the inside of the right foot and pivot to face the long edge of our mat. You're going to come up through to standing and turn your toes out and your heels in for your goddess pose. Bring the hands through to the heart. Couple of breaths. You can close the eyes if you wish. We're going to take this into a balance. We're going to take our weight over to our right leg, slide the left foot in, and we're going to come through into Shiva, dancing Shiva pose. So, lifting the left leg up in front of you, keeping a bend in the right knee. This is Shiva's dance of destruction. One more breath. We'll step it back out, that wide-legged stance. Hands back through to the heart, shoulders soft. And we'll come through to the other side. We'll slide the right leg in. A little bend in the left knee, right leg lifts. Just finding your balance. One more breath. And then step it back into your goddess pose. As you inhale, we'll straighten the legs, parallel the feet, bring the hands to the waist. Draw your elbows behind you, soften the knees as you exhale to fold forwards. And just finding your forward bend here. Crown of the head reaching down. Tailbone up. And then use your next inhale to bring yourself back through to upright. Okay. And then because we don't have much time, I'm going to take this into some hip opening. So turn to face the front edge of your mat, step back through, plank, hips up and back, down as facing dog. So coming straight through into pigeon pose. I'm going to bring my right leg forwards. Take my right knee behind my right wrist, extend the left leg out behind you. Square off the hips as much as you can. Couple of breaths here, upright. And then use your next exhale to come forward. Connect to your breath. Think left hip forwards, right hip back. Couple more breaths here. And then as you inhale, come back up onto your hands. We're going to roll over onto the right hip and bring the left leg in front of us. And I'll just turn around to face the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we are in Gomukhasana. Now, if this pose isn't comfortable for you, it might not be good for your hips or your knees or maybe even your ankles, you can always straighten out the right leg and just work with the left leg bent over the right. If you're happy with the right heel over towards the left hip, we can come there. And then we're going to take the right arm up alongside the ear, drop the hand between your shoulder blades. Bring the left hand behind you, and if you can, hold on to your opposite fingers. If not, you could just hold on to your t-shirt. Lengthen the spine there. And then as you exhale, if it feels okay, we'll fold forwards. Try and keep the back flat as you come forwards. And then the weight evenly distributed across the sitting bone. So you don't want to roll over to one side. See if you can keep grounded through the left sitting bone. Take one more breath. Inhale, come back through to upright, release the hands, and we'll take a twist. So take the back of your right arm against your left thigh and your left hand behind you. Lengthen on the inhale, exhale to twist to your left. Perfect. Lengthen on the inhale, exhale, come back through to centre, and then we'll just step it back, downwards facing dog. Maybe just find some movement. And then as you inhale, left leg comes forward. So left knee behind your left wrist, extend your right leg out behind you. So you might have your left foot more in towards the groin. You might have your left foot further forwards. Just find the place that feels appropriate for you. Square off your hips as much as you can. Just a little bit of lift here, soft through the shoulders. And then as you exhale, just starting to bring it forwards. Couple more breaths. And then use your next inhale. Walk your hands back in so you come back through to upright. Roll over onto your left hip, sweep the right leg in front of you. So same thing again, if the full pose doesn't work for you in whatever way, straighten out the left leg. So reach up the left arm this time, bend the elbow, drop the hand between the shoulder blades. Right hand behind you, and maybe hold your t-shirt or your opposite fingers. Lengthen there, make sure you're grounded through both sitting bones, and as you exhale, fold forwards. Couple more breaths. And then inhale. Come back through to uprights. To release the hands, take your left arm to the outside of the right thigh and the right hand behind you. Find your twist. Each inhale, lengthening up through the crown of the head. And then inhale to lengthen, coming back through to centre. Okay, and we're just going to release out the legs and lie ourselves back down on our mats. And that is literally my practice for today. I don't have much time, but it's just nice to get on the mats, connect to breath, and open the body a little. So just taking, for me, it will be quite a short Shavasana. For you, if you wanted it to be, it could be a lot longer. Stay here as long as you need to. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.